Oops, not presenter view. There we go. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. I have about a 10-minute PowerPoint that has some pictures, and I'll just be kind of talking a little bit about what a day in the life looks like here at the Leadership School at KWE. So, like Evan said, the Leadership School is part of KWE Education. It's one of our programs. We also run summer camp programs during the summer, Camp Kiev and Camp Wavis. We are located on Damascotta Lake in Noblesboro, Maine, which, if you're familiar with Maine, is about an hour north of Portland on the coast. The nearest town is Damascotta, which has all of the amenities, hospitals, grocery stores, everything like that. So we're not in the middle of nowhere, although we are on the end of a peninsula that juts out into the beautiful lake. Our campus is centered around the lake. We don't, especially in November, we won't be using the lake at all, but we do live in a very beautiful place. The Leadership School, I'll go back to the slide actually, is our year-round program. So again, like I said, we run summer camps during the summer, and then the Leadership School is where we work with middle schoolers mostly from Maine, and then we work with a number of schools in Massachusetts and New Hampshire as well. And these schools come to our campus from 2 to 5 days over the course of the fall and the spring. And we work with the students and with the teachers, and we really talk and learn a lot about social emotional learning. We see groups come every single week. We have about 120 kids on campus every day, and we really do see a big transformation from day one when they get here to when they leave, whether that be on day 3 or day 5. This presentation will just go over a little bit of, what a day in the life looks like. Each school will get to campus at around between 10 and 12, 10 and noon that first day. But I'm just going to go ahead and talk about, what it looks like from when you wake up in the morning, when you're waking up on campus, to when you're leaving. So around 7:15, kids will wake up. Kids are broken up into different cabins. Cabins hold max of 15 students, and they look like this. They're called cabins, but I also like to refer to them as lakefront cottages because you're right on the lake. Look at that view. All of our cabins are winterized. They have heat, hot water, so especially in November, we'll be definitely using that a lot. You'll see each of the cabins have about 8 different bunk beds. So your student will either be on the top or the bottom bunk. If there's a specific preference that your student has, please make sure that you write that in the health form. We ask for any nighttime concerns that your student might have, and that's a great place to say, my student won't be comfortable with the top bunk or vice versa. Each of the cabins have 2 bathrooms, and the bathroom consists of a separate little shower stall, a separate bathroom stall, and a sink. So, someone can be using the bathroom privately, taking a shower privately, and also brushing their teeth at the same time. And we have 2 of those in each cabin. One of our educators is chaperoning overnight in the cabin. So one of the educators stays in the cabin overnight and is that kind of first line of defense if something pops up in the middle of the night. They facilitate the shower schedule, they facilitate bedtime, and really form a pretty cool bond and relationship with the kids that they have in their cabin over the course of the program. All of the educators that work with our students all have bachelor's degrees, interested in a career in education, have all been background checked, fingerprinted, and are really, really excellent educators and folks. Around 8 o'clock, we head down to our dining hall, which we call Pasquani, for breakfast. Breakfast always consists of a hot meal, so whether that be eggs, pancakes, French toast, that type of thing. And then there's always cereal, yogurt, fruit, granola, kind of that cold continental breakfast up at the front. Um, our kitchen does just an excellent job of accommodating all dietary restrictions, all allergies, even for, the picky eaters, and kids that really do need different options. So again, that is something to put in your student's health form that they have this allergy or restriction. Um, we have our healthcare and risk director, will be in touch with, with the school if any big allergies or restrictions pop up. And I know that she's already been in contact with a couple parents from the district about food. Around 9 o'clock, we get right into our class day. So our class day is, pretty typical to, hours to a normal class day, around 9 to 3. And this is when we are doing our social emotional learning activities based on the curriculum, like Evan said, was published in our book. Our social emotional learning activities really focus on these 5 competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. And I'll just go back to this slide real fast. All of our activities are, focused on these skills. They are focused on getting kids out of their comfort zone, getting them to work together, building stronger relationships between peers that might not know each other that well. They're focused on, helping students become more self-confident, and really, really helping them, thrive in their everyday life. A lot of our activities are interactive, and a lot of them are also reflective as well. Here's just, a couple different activities. You can see all of our activities. If the weather's nice, we usually like to be outside as much as possible. So really suggest, especially in November, sending your students with a lot of warm gear: hats, coats, warm socks, that type of thing. Like I said, a lot of our activities are interactive, but we always end on a reflective piece. So why did we do this activity? What did we learn from it? How can we bring that back into our school community? At noon, we have lunch. And again, our kitchen just does a great job of accommodating all food restrictions or allergies. There's always a salad and sandwich bar, and then a hot option. And, this looks like it's Taco Tuesday today, or in this picture. After lunch, we continue with our class day, and we have a really excellent and highly rated outdoor climbing course and an indoor rock wall. And all students each day will get the chance to climb on our rock wall or our outside climbing course. This is, again, a time where students can get out of their comfort zone, really push themselves, whether that push be a couple feet off, above the ground on the tree, or all the way up to the top of our catwalk. Our challenge course director does just an excellent job of really mitigating the risk on the challenge course, and providing these students a really excellent opportunity to get out of their comfort zone. Until 3 o'clock, there's other, social emotional learning activities. Maybe they'll do some more climbing. Maybe they will explore a little, section of our campus that's, off the beaten path. At 3:15, we all reconvene. We have a snack. And then we move on to sign-up activities. And these are kind of a typical extracurricular activity that your student might sign up for. So something that they're interested in might be arts and crafts. This is a picture of them working in the garden. I know basketball is a popular one. They'll get another chance to climb if they'd like. So really, catering this afternoon block to what the students are wanting to do. 5:30 is dinner. Dinner is, again, a pretty kid-friendly meal. It looks like this might be chicken and French fries, and again, there's always a salad, some sort of vegetable at the front. 6:30 rolls around, we have our evening activity, which is when the whole school comes together to do some sort of activity. This could be, making a little vessel for an egg and dropping the egg, about 50 feet, seeing if it breaks, kind of a little hidden team building challenge. It could be putting on a little performance or skit for the rest of the school. Kind of depends on what the kids in the school need and want at that time. After evening activity, we go back to the cabin. Our cabin educator facilitates shower schedule, maybe a fun game. And then lights out is around 9 o'clock, and kids are more than welcome to read. But we do have a no technology policy, so we ask that the students leave their cell phones at home or with their school on the bus, whatever the school decides, but no technology. So there's that break, that 48-hour break from phones can be tough, but the students hardly realize that they don't have them. They're so busy the entire time. They go to bed at 9, and they wake up the next morning and do it again. So it's really a full packed day, lots of fun, lots of learning, and kids have a blast here. So I will stop sharing my screen now, and then I will open it up for questions. And I saw I saw the chat going off, but I wasn't able to really look at them while I was presenting.
No,
Let's see.
no problem, Hannah. We did try to tackle some of the questions as
Okay.
you were talking. Any parent who does have a question or anything, and if you prefer to write in the chat, you could do that, or if you want to unmute and just verbally ask it, that's great too. So now would be a great time. And maybe if you do want to raise your hand or something like that, we can kind of like orderly go to each person that way. Hannah, I did see somebody ask, would it be possible for us to just get a copy of those slides and we could send?
Absolutely. Yep. I can send it along to you after the presentation, then you can forward it to whoever needs it.
Cool.
No, fantastic. That was trying to unmute this whole time. That was me, Crystal Craft here. Hi, how are you? Thank you for addressing that question. Just in case anybody missed this meeting, anybody joined late, or for parental reference, since it pertains to our children following a very strict schedule. That being said, you said around 9 o'clock bedtime.
Yep.
Everything else seems to be set in stone apart from that. So if we could get a little bit more information on that when you have a moment, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say around 9 o'clock. Usually for sixth graders especially, it's going to be earlier. These kids are wiped at the end of the day, and they are ready to go to bed. Our educators say lights out at 9 for sixth graders, so that's when lights out are. But I would think that sixth graders honestly will be ready to go to bed before 9. But 9 o'clock is lights out. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And absolutely, that makes sense. I mean, it could be subject to change. They might be excited the first day and they can't fall asleep, and they might be wiped out by the end of it. So
Yep.
Okay. And so no electronics, that's understood. Do they get to have any type of communication with their parents?
Yeah, so we don't, here at the Leadership School, we don't facilitate any communication with their parents. We really try hard to say no communication, obviously, special circumstances. And, if you need to arrange a special phone call home or anything like that, we ask that you talk to your school administrator or teachers about that.
Okay, understood. So that being said, one of my other questions, sorry, I keep hijacking this call, but I might be answering, questions for other parents that didn't get a chance to chime in or unmute or raise their hand accordingly. So this other question pertains to, I know that you said that, obviously this program accommodates more than the Nistasis Middle School. During the program that our children will be attending, will there be other children from other school districts attending at the same time? And if so, how many? And
Yeah,
Please
that's a good
advise.
question. So the only overlap during this week will be the about the 2 hours that Hawthorne is leaving and Nissitissit is coming.
Okay.
So that's the only other school. But there will no be there won't be other schools from other districts or anything like that while you're here.
Okay, great. I believe I saw another question. I don't see anybody talking, so I might as well just help accordingly. I saw a parent, forgive me who it was, ask, I believed it pertained to wondering, if a child is not interested in the current schedule or whatever particular activity you guys are doing at that time, that day, are they forced to continue to do it?
No, of course not. We won't force a child to do anything. We'll definitely give the child different options. We'll encourage them to do that. But if the child is not interested, and it absolutely does not want to do it, we do provide them options. So whether that be a different role in the activity, just sitting off to the side observing, we won't force a child to do an activity if they absolutely do not want to do it.
Okay. Yeah, great. Good to know. I mean, that wasn't one of my formal questions, but great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hijacking your call. I appreciate it very much.
Not at
So
all.
I'll let you attend to any others that want to
Yeah.
ask any questions. Thank you very much.
Hi, I have a question. If the child wants to go home at any point, if the parent's willing to pick them up, can they go home? So say they're a day in and they're uncomfortable and they want to go home, are they able to get in touch with their parent to go home?
Yeah, so we do see this. We definitely see this during programs, especially with sixth graders. It might be their first time away, might be their first sleepover, first time away from parents, and so we do see definitely some anxiety and some homesickness from this age group. So our educators do their very best to work through it, but we're always communicating with your school's teachers. Putting a student on their radar that's particularly homesick or anxious, and if talking with the teacher, with your student's teacher, if they do make the decision to have you come pick them up, we absolutely support that.
Okay. And I did see another question in the chat. Are the cabins co-ed or girls and boys separate?
Yep. So what we do is we ask the school to assign all of the cabins. So the school assigns the cabins, and the school also assigns the class groups. And generally, the cabins are not co-ed, but we leave that to the discretion of the school.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yep. You're welcome.
To provide clarity on that, they will be separate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then it looks like someone else chatted in here about how many of our children's teachers from the school will be attending the trip.
So we should have, we're probably looking at between 6 and 8 teachers that will be there. So, the teachers are very excited about attending this trip. We have, I think we actually had 3, just at Nissitissit, we had 3 sixth grade teachers go last year, and they've been evangelizing everybody else since. So we're looking at having a good amount of teachers being present there. So, as the call started, I remember actually when I was up there, I watched Rachel's group. Actually, I'm pretty sure. And we were just in awe the whole time. So, I mean, and our students end up getting a very quick, close relationship with their teachers at KWE. I mean, I was surprised watching this group, and I thought they'd known Rachel for months, and she just has a really easygoing way about her, and kids were just really trusting her, which is great. But at the same time, their teachers are there too. So kind of what Hannah was saying, it's kind of like a multi-pronged approach if kids are homesick or something like that, to really help kids feel comfortable and safe up there.
Yeah, and I
Thank you.
will also I will add to Evan is that we you know, you say you're bringing about 68 teachers, which is awesome. We really see a really cool relationship build too between this your students and teachers just during these 3 days. They
Yeah.
just see their school teachers in a little bit of a different light, and you know that relationship really grows stronger during these 3 days.
So I do have a question. This is more for Mr. Worth. Will the students be doing makeup work while they're gone, like after they get back?
No, no. Their work is
And
to be up there.
okay, and one other question. I know personally my daughter's on the fence about whether she wants to go, and the deadline's like in 2 days. Is there something where, like, you know, if in a week we talk to her and she's like, yeah, I really want to go, is there still time to sign up, or is it kind of make or break in 2 days? Because if it's make or break in 2 days, she's probably gonna say no.
Yeah, there's definitely more time. We just really want to put some deadlines in there just to really make sure that we're getting, you know, we can't just have like everybody at the last minute say they want to go. Like we really need people to really start letting us know that this trip is really something that all the parents want to get behind as well, and then obviously that we can pay the bus company and everything like that.
Yeah, I was just wondering if like they could, if like maybe you could extend it just like a week, just where they just went back to school. You know, I know my daughter was watching some of the slides. We're gonna get the slides to show her, and like maybe extend it and say, okay, well by the end of like 1 week, like this is when you need to send your child up, just to give the child. Well, my daughter personally, I don't
Yeah.
know how any
Miss Olmsted, what date were you
think
thinking
about it,
again?
look at the pictures, and be like, yeah, this looks like a great idea, or
1 second. I think we can definitely extend it. We just want to make sure that we're not pushing it too far because we also know that we want to break it up for families too. I mean, obviously, if you just write a check for the full thing, that's fine. But we also want to help give people the ability to do it in installments as well.
Does a counselor stay in the room with the children, or are they alone in the cabin themselves?
No, we have one of our educators stay in the cabin with the
Because
kids.
I can tell you, my daughter probably wouldn't go to bed at 9, so I just want to make sure something.
Yeah. No, we have we have one of our educators stay in the cabin with the kids, so they're supervised at all times. You know, our educators are the first line. You know, if the kids need them, and they're also, you know, they're playing games with the kids and facilitating, you know, getting ready for bed and everything like that, waking up. So yep, they're very present.
All right, thank you.
Again, too, you'll be surprised. I mean, I remember when I was there watching Rachel's group. I mean, they were doing like the climbing wall there, and I've never seen a climbing wall as enormous as the one that's there. So for a sixth grader to go up there and do that, you're gonna get tired. Hannah, I saw.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna answer question or ask questions that people are putting. If let's say our child decides not to go, would they just basically carry on their day like a normal school day?
Yeah, they would still go to school. I mean, it might be modified if so many kids are in their grade are gone, but they would definitely be going to their normal specials and things like that. They would
And
certainly be expected to go to
how
school.
long have you guys been, how long has Nissitissit Middle School been attending this program?
This would be the first time. So we went with teachers to.
Okay, so you don't have a history. That's really well. Okay.
That
I was gonna say out of all the times, you know, how many children gained something from it, came home happy, learned something, said they would never do it again. But this being the first time, okay, that overall said it. No, appreciate it. It was a very, very valid question I needed answered on my behalf. So not sure if anybody else had that question in mind, but thank you very much.
Hannah, I saw a great question about like what sort of things should students bring. Do you have like, any ideas on that?
Yeah, we have a packing list that I will again forward over to you, Evan. But we spend again a lot of time outside if the weather is nice. Obviously, if it's raining or too cold, we won't be outside as much. But um, lots of warm weather gear. So snow pants, maybe coats, warm hats, gloves, mittens. And then for sleeping, all of the beds are twin sized. So we recommend either a sleeping bag and pillow or a twin size sheet and a blanket, whatever your student prefers to sleep in. And then all the toiletries that they want. So, toothbrush, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, all of that type of thing. And again, each kid is different. We recommend them bringing a book, maybe some playing cards. We have lots of playing cards and games, but um, you know, maybe your kid has something special. And then, just any everyday clothes. So, whatever your child wears to school that you don't mind getting a little dirty or wet, because we are outside a lot.
I saw some people ask about a refund if the student doesn't want to go. Um, I think if you put in money now and then like a week later, sure. I think at some point we're probably gonna kind of have a cutoff, I guess, for that. We really want students to go. I mean, I know that students are definitely going to feel nervous about going to something like this, and it's really a great experience. I'm sure this is the first time that we're all going as a group, but it's not like we haven't been up there. We have been up there, and we've seen other groups go up there, and that's why we're bringing it to you to have our students experience this. And I do think that students would feel very left out by making that decision not to go and to miss out on this experience. So I would encourage all parents with students that are on the fence, to really, and we'll send out the slides, but even check out the website too. This isn't a rustic rundown camp, that you went to in Boy Scouts. Like, this is a very nice facility that is got a lot of amenities for our students. So I think it'll be just a great 2.5 days really for our students. But yes, eventually, like, if there needs to be a refund, obviously we can accommodate that.
Excuse me, Evan. This is Matt Montour. How are you?
I'm great, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing good. My wife actually going to let me ask a question. Is there a minimum amount of kids that need to sign up to make this thing happen? Is there, if we don't have enough kids, that not everybody gets to go, or?
Yeah, we'll have to evaluate that. I don't have like a number off the top of my head, but we're hoping to go.
Yeah, I'll just add a little bit, Evan. And I think too, I'll put our website here right now. I'm going to type it into the chat. So KWE is, we've been around for over 100 years. We were founded in 1922. This specific program this is year 44. We're coming up on our 45th year. So we've been around a while. Again, our facilities are world class. We, have work with schools from all over New England, all over Maine, a lot of schools in Massachusetts and kind of coastal New Hampshire as well. And, like Evan said, students have an excellent time here. They learn a lot. They have so much fun. And they really get to form a pretty special bond with classmates that they don't maybe necessarily know that well. It really sets them up for success. So again, please check out our website, and you can see a little bit more of our facilities and look at our other programs. But but please know that while this is Hawthorne, Brooks, and Nissitisset's first time, we do work with over 10,000 students each year, just at the Leadership School, and another couple thousand during the summer, and really do provide an excellent experience for students while they're up there.
I saw a couple questions about like CPR certification and stuff. The district is going to be sending a nurse to go up with each group, so with Hawthorne and Nissitissit students, so there will be, you know, a nurse with all of our students as well.
Hi, this is Sarah Schaefer. I have a multi-part question, kind of. And Hannah, I know this isn't really for you to answer. Several of us have asked about cabins being assigned. Obviously, I know that's very complex for everyone to assign cabins. But the reason why I think it's so important to us, one, is because our kids are going to be away, a lot of them for the first time. And we want to make sure that they have someone that they feel safe with, especially if they're not going to have someone from their school be in the cabin. So I know it's kind of hard to tell right now, like how many actual teachers from Nissitissit and Hawthorne will be going. But so I guess, yeah, multi-point, like if they end up in a cabin with someone, with people that they don't know, and then also end up in a cabin with an adult that they don't know, how realistically likely is it that someone's going to actually let them use the phone to call? I just want our kids to be able to feel safe to contact someone, you know, like a safe person. That's one question. Sorry, that was complex. And then the second one is just the activities that they're going to participate in. Are they restricted to just the people they're in the cabin with, or is it a mixed group? Okay, thank you.
I can kind of jump in really quickly and talk about how we actually there's two groups while they're up there. There's their cabin group, which they'll be in the cabin with, they'll have dinner with, kind of spend the afternoon and evening with. And, you know, I'm not sure how Nissitissit and Hawthorne will assign those, but a lot of schools that we work with, you know, ask students, you know, who are 2 or 3 people that you'd like to be with, and so, you know, they make sure that they have at least, you know, 1 or 2 buddies in that cabin. During the day, they are in different groups. So if they're, you know, not super thrilled about their cabin group, they might be really excited about their classroom group, and they're in their classrooms during the day from about 9 to 3, and those groups are co-ed, and again, the school assigns those. So they'll be in 2 different groups throughout their experience here.
And then as far as, I guess we can't really guarantee right now, our principal directors here, if we will have a person from each school in each cabin. I know maybe we can't answer that, but really, what's the likelihood of a child actually being able to call home if they need to?
Well, I think like if there is a child that really needed to call home, the teacher from the school would probably get in contact with me, or, you know, Miss Olmsted, or, you know, whoever the you know, administrator is that's up there on the trip. There's going to be an administrator up there. So we will definitely, you know, converse with you if we definitely need to. We want the kids to, you know, kind of like what Hannah was saying, you know, we want to try to help them, you know, get comfortable, but obviously, like, if that's not possible, we will most certainly let them make a phone call home. I mean, totally.
Can I just clarify? I thought I heard someone say earlier that only Nissitissit will be up there, that at one time, that there was only one school at a time.
Yes, that is true. So
they will be in cabins with their classmates, not kids from other schools.
correct.
Okay, that was part of the question that wasn't actually getting answered. Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect.
I see a question about students with, you know, that might be in a program or something like that. Their actual teachers are going to be up there. So if there are like specific needs of students who might be part of a program, teachers will work together with those families if needed, you know, to help make the trip a success.